Xinhua not mention Biden's condolences to Li Keqiang at his meeting with Wang Yi. Primary school in Anhui closed after enrolling less than 10 students. Foreign direct investment in China drops sharply, trust in CCP collapses. China's manufacturing activity unexpectedly contracts in October. Tsingtao Beer hit hard by urination scandal, market value shrank by 50 billion yuan. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Xinhua not mention Biden's condolences to Li Keqiang at his meeting with Wang Yi. Former Chinese Premier Li Keqiang was officially announced to have died of heart attack on October 27, triggering a wave of doubts and the Chinese authorities strictly controlling public opinion. The tight control of Li Keqiang's mourning even happened with U.S. President Joe Biden. When Biden met with Wang Yi, Chinese Foreign Minister and Director of the Foreign Affairs Office of the Chinese Communist Party on October 27, he expressed condolences to Li Keqiang. However, the Chinese official media did not mention it at all. The White House released a briefing on Biden's meeting with Wang on October 27. The press release stated that Biden emphasized both the United States and China need to responsibly manage competition in their relations and maintain open channels of communication. The last sentence of the press release was Biden expressing his condolences on the death of former Premier Li Keqiang. However, when the Xinhua news agency released a report on Biden's meeting with Wang Yi, it only emphasized that the One China principle and the 3 Sino-US joint communiques are the most important political basis for the relationship between the two countries, and interference must be eliminated. It is worth noting that Xinhua did not mention Biden's condolences to Li Keqiang at all, but it mentioned that Biden sent greetings to President Xi Jinping. The discrepancy between the statements between China and the United States has triggered questions from many netizens. One netizen named Xinhua said that, "This is also a fight." Netizen Nate H. said, "Okay, everyone knows this embarrassing thing." Netizen Nobody Did commented, "The Chinese government appears to be trying to minimize the impact of Li Keqiang's death." Another netizen said, "The Chinese Communist Party's hypocrisy, insidiousness and shamelessness are definitely at their peak, unprecedented." Xiao Wang, a veteran American driver, wrote, "There is something even more outrageous. There was news some time ago that Xi Jinping met with Biden. In China, Biden trotted over to shake hands with Xi Jinping, demonstrating Xi Jinping's status as a great power. In fact, there was news in the United States that Biden did not run at all, just shook hands normally. Xi Jinping wins again." After Li Keqiang's death was made public, news about Xi Jinping still dominated the headlines on Xinhua, the CCP's mouthpiece. The news of Li Keqiang's death was put on the back burner. The major state media websites have not changed to black and white. Chinese authorities also censored and blocked comments from netizens and strictly controlled memorial activities, but a large number of people spontaneously laid flowers. The police have reportedly added the so-called compliance requirements to retrieve order information for flowers, candles and other commemorative items from Chinese buyers. Primary school in Anhui closed after enrolling less than 10 students. A primary school in Haida Township, Susong County, Anhui Province, was closed because it had fewer than 10 students enrolled in the second half of this year. Youpu Primary School is a public school. It was established in 1953. Explaining the reason for closing the school, the Haida Township authorities stated that Youpu Primary School can only enroll less than 10 students in the second half of this year. The small number of students made the cost of education too high, making it difficult to maintain the normal operation of the school. Therefore, the local government made the decision to close Youpu Primary School in September 2023. Because the school was established 70 years ago, its closure caused shock in the local education community. The news attracted a lot of attention and appeared on Baidu's hot search list on October 30th. Some netizens revealed that this is relatively common in rural areas in mainland China. One netizen explained that, some 10 years ago, many rural primary schools and middle schools were abandoned because a lot of farmers have been driven to cities to work and settle there. There are shortages of students now. A Baidu user named The Pacific is Not Deep said, "The primary school in my village has long been abandoned, and now the children have to go to a boarding school in the county 30 kilometers away." User Tianya Yangyang revealed, "My original elementary school now only has 4 students and 2 teachers." Some netizens believe that as the population of mainland China decreases, this will become normal in the society. One commented, "Sooner or later, population decline, celibacy, and childlessness will likely become prevalent in contemporary society." Foreign direct investment in China drops sharply, trust in CCP collapses. As the Chinese government suppresses private companies and further restricts foreign companies, foreign investors are losing their interest in the country. It is reflected in the plunging foreign direct investment into China. Each month since May, China's foreign direct investment, FDI, has seen double-digit declines, though it surged 15% year-on-year in January. Direct investment liabilities, a gauge of foreign capital flowing into China, stood at $6.7 billion in the second quarter, the lowest level since 2000. The figure was down from $21 billion in the first quarter of 2023. From the latest data released by China's Ministry of Commerce, Financial Times calculated that foreign direct investment into the country tumbled 34% year-on-year to 72.8 billion yuan, $10 billion, in September. This is the largest decline since monthly data was released in 2014. The data is painting a picture of deteriorating foreign investment. Coupled with the withdrawal of large amounts of funds from the Chinese stock market, China's economic outlook seems grim. Weak foreign direct investment is part of a steady stream of disappointing economic data from China since the country lifted COVID pandemic restrictions at the beginning of this year. The Chinese government stopped publishing monthly foreign direct investment data in US dollars in August this year, and the latest data released by the Ministry of Commerce is only provided in yuan. China also stopped publishing youth unemployment data in July. Relations between FDI companies and China deteriorate. The continued decline in foreign direct investment shows that China is no longer attractive to foreign investors. Although there is still no complete divestment from China, the investment has become smaller and smaller. Forced by the real estate crisis and the cost of zero-COVID policies, Chinese local governments have courted foreign executives as they return to China for the first time in years. However, as U.S.-China diplomatic relations continue to deteriorate and the West has been calling for reducing supply chain risks, the business delegation visiting China has kept a low profile. But visiting business delegations have kept a low profile against a backdrop of worsening diplomatic relations with the U.S. and Western calls to de-risk supply chains. Historically, Chinese regions benefited from foreign investment, but they are now being forced to seek alternative financing. A manufacturing company in eastern Jiangsu province said that Chinese companies were relying on government funding to replace overseas investors. Although China's economy is deteriorating, its government continues to do things that make foreign companies flee. This year, the Chinese authorities have raided a number of foreign companies. In September this year, Wang Yi, head of the China Investment Banking Department of Japan's Nomura International Bank, was banned from leaving the country. Many foreign investors are canceling their travel and investment plans. Communication between the Chinese government and foreign investors is more rigid, with most inquiries from foreigners receiving boilerplate responses. This kind of communication adds fuel to the fire at a time when new compliance rules such as data transmission in China pose huge legal risks to foreign companies. Currently, China's inbound tourism is still sluggish. The number of passengers entering the country on international flights fell by more than 3/4 in the first half of this year compared with the same period of 2019. China has been almost entirely devoid of Western tourists this year, depriving the country of useful human connections. Group travel from the United States fell approximately 99% in the second quarter of this year compared with 2019. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce released a survey of U.S. companies in China on September 19. The results showed that only 68% of the companies made profit last year. The number of respondents who think this year will be better or who are optimistic about the next 5 years is at a record low. About 40% of the U.S. companies said they are moving investments elsewhere or planning to do so. Brad Setzer, a fellow at U.S. Council on Foreign Relations, told Financial Times that the data suggested foreign companies are no longer reinvesting in China. Instead, they are getting their profits out of the country as fast as they can. Meanwhile, Larry Hu, chief China economist at Macquarie, explained that a major driver of the foreign investment decline was higher interest rates in the United States. This incentivized U.S. companies to reshore working capital from China. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce pointed out that 2023 should be the year of a rebound in investor confidence and optimism, but this rebound simply failed to materialize. On the contrary, business confidence continues to deteriorate. The chamber added that China's merely opening the door to the world will not work, but the window for meaningful re-engagement with the West is closing. Regions of China that have historically benefited from foreign investment are now being forced to seek alternative financing. There is another sign of growing concern within China about the foreign investment drought. At a celebration of China's Belt and Road Initiative last week, Chinese leader Xi Jinping said Beijing would remove restrictions on foreign investment in its manufacturing sector. Trust in the Chinese Communist Party collapsed. Investors are selling Chinese stocks at an unprecedented rate and exiting the country despite Beijing's efforts to stimulate economic growth by increasing borrowing to finance additional spending. Morgan Stanley strategists wrote in a recent report that the outflow of foreign funds from China's A-share market has entered an unprecedented stage. Between August 7 and October 19, cumulative capital outflows through Shanghai Hong Kong Stock Connect hit $22.1 billion, the largest capital outflow in the platform's history. Alex Capri, a researcher at the Halley's Foundation, told CNN, "It is time to fundamentally rethink the China issue." He said, China's deteriorating economic conditions have triggered a larger and more important phenomenon, which is the complete collapse of trust in the Chinese Communist Party. Brock Silvers, chief investment officer of private equity firm Yuan Capital, pointed out two main reasons for the decline in global interest in Chinese stocks: China's economic slowdown and the lack of a convincing response from the authorities. China's manufacturing activity unexpectedly contracts in October. On Tuesday, October 31, China's National Bureau of Statistics announced that the Manufacturing Purchasing Managers' Index, PMI, fell by 0.7 percentage points to 49.5 in October, returning to the contracting area. Data showed that the new orders index fell to 49.5, down 1.0 percentage points from the previous month. Import and export orders have declined for 8 consecutive months. According to Reuters analysis, this reflects the sluggish economic recovery after the COVID pandemic. It is difficult for manufacturers to find overseas buyers, and the number of parts ordered from overseas is also decreasing. Su Tianchen, a senior economist at the Economist Intelligence Unit, told Reuters that the weak PMI data reflected weak demand related to China's housing market decline and deceleration in infrastructure spending. Meanwhile, the growth of the service industry slowed down, further deepening the uncertainty of economic recovery. The non-manufacturing business index in October was 50.6, down 1.1 percentage points from the previous month, but the sector was still in the expansion zone. Although exports showed signs of stabilizing, a strong rebound in external demand may be difficult to achieve. In terms of industries, the construction industry index was 53.5 last month, a decrease of 2.7 percentage points from the previous month. The service industry index was 50.1, a decrease of 0.8 percentage points from the previous month. The business activity indexes of industries such as railway transportation, air transportation, postal services, telecommunications, radio and television, and satellite transmission services were above 60.0, while the business activity index of industries such as capital market services and real estate were below the critical point. Faced with a debt crisis, China last week approved the issuance of 1 trillion yuan of sovereign bonds in the fourth quarter and passed a bill allowing local governments to pay part of their 2024 bond quotas in advance to support investment and economic growth. In October, China's central bank also injected the largest amount of cash since late 2020, allowing banks to expand credit and keep interest rates at low levels. However, analysts are not optimistic. They believe that Beijing needs to launch more easing policies to achieve the 5% annual growth target. Tsingtao Beer hit hard by urination scandal, market value shrinks 50 billion yuan. Recently, the urination scandal incident has dealt a blow to China's Tsingtao Beer. Its stock price continued to plummet, and the market value of the state-owned listed company shrunk by more than 50 billion yuan from its highest point. On October 19, a video featured a worker at Tsingtao Brewery No. 3 climbing into a material warehouse to urinate. As the incident unfolded, Tsingtao Beer's reputation was severely damaged. Although Tsingtao Brewery and many departments in China responded quickly to put out the fire, they could not prevent the stock price from falling sharply. At the trading on October 23, Tsingtao Beer's stock price opened sharply lower by 6.77%. The intraday drop reached 7.51%, and the market value shrank by more than 8.3 billion yuan. On October 27, Tsingtao Brewery released good news about its third-quarter financial report, and its stock price rebounded that day. But on October 30, Tsingtao Beer's stock price fell again. Compared with the highest price recorded in April this year, Tsingtao Beer's stock price has fallen by more than 30%, and its market value has shrunk by more than 50 billion yuan. In 1903, German businessmen established the German beer company Tsingtao Company, Limited in Tsingtao, using German brewing technology and raw materials to produce German-style beer in China. After the Chinese Communist Party usurped power in 1949, the company was renamed state-owned Tsingtao Brewery. Currently, Tsingtao Brewery is listed on both the Shanghai Stock Exchange and the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. In fact, before the Tsingtao Beer's urination scandal broke out, the company was already facing multiple pressures, such as stagnant business growth and fierce industry competition. The financial report shows that revenue and net profit in the third quarter declined significantly compared with the first two quarters. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. If you find the information helpful, please share this video with a friend to watch together. This will be a great source of motivation for our team to produce more and more quality and reliable videos. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths. Thank you for tuning in.